Welcome to another stage analysis video. It's Sunday the 10th of August 2025. As always, lots to get through on a weekend video, but going to start off with the watch list stocks from the weekend post this weekend, starting with TEM, something which I've been holding myself for a little while now. So this one just had an earnings reaction on Friday. Good earnings results, but the reaction with the market on Friday didn't exactly have a stellar reaction, managing to close just below its 50-day moving average and didn't manage to break through the most recent highs. But we have got this small double bottom pattern again. It's had a habit of making these since the start of the year. See, in December we had a shakeout move and double bottom, then another through the March-April low, and then another obviously most recently here. So 3 in a row with higher lows as it goes through the structure. You can see the broader structure here, which if I take it out to a weekly chart, let's go on to the stage analysis website and find it on here. So you can see the weekly chart here. Scroll out on this. You see the broader structure since the IPO here. So I'll take that round. It's within this tighter pattern within this sort of longer term structure that it's been in for the last since August 2024, so a year now going sideways, the institutional due diligence phase, as they say. We did have this initial attempt to push out higher in early stage 2, but turned into an up thrust, came back in, formed a spring at the lows again, and now we've got this tighter action in here. So at the moment, a little bit of a contraction in volatility over the last 3 or 4 months or so. As I said, since back in May now, so 3-month tighter structure here. So what we're looking for on this is a break through the 65 sort of area at the moment. If we drop down to a lower time frame on this, a bit clearer, you can see that local structure that we've had since May. So a little buying climax or MAC reaction, secondary testing up to the highs. So it's been forming this structure, a little bit of a local spring within the broader base there, last point of support. So looking for this minor base within it to start breaking up and through this 65 area and potentially pushing off to the highs from that. If it does start to falter low, we start to see it drop back through the 200-day through here, then it could start to drift off into stage 4 if that was the case. But at the moment, and that would be a change of character from what we've seen over the last 3 months or so with this relatively tight structure through here. You can see the range of that only around 37% compared to we had over 188% move from the start of the year to the high there. So much tighter in terms of the price action, and it's still up around, 80% or so year to date. We go back to December. 1st of December there. So it is still, even though going sideways, it's still up just under 80% year to date. So still in a strong position, as I said, in the institutional due diligence phase since the IPO. So looking for it to start pushing out of this structure and start moving into stage 2 in earnest. Next up is Meta. So Facebook, etc., consolidating since the earnings reaction a couple of weeks ago now. So just sitting above that +1 ATR level at the moment. So that's 1 ATR above its 21-day moving average here. So still in that short-term uptrend. It's been moving higher in stage 2 since back in late May, early June. It started to move out into stage 2 after the shakeout into the April low with the rest of the market. So it was one of the leading stocks coming out, moving out quite quickly back into stage 2 again. So you can see pushing to new highs through here. Again, if we come back onto the website, you can see the longer term chart on this. It's been going a long time in stage 2 with a few shakeout moves. It started to drop off. So put the stages back around on briefly. You can see that brief dip into stage 3, stage 4 before recovering back through and then pushing back out into stage 2 again. So it's been an exceptional few years, it moving higher in stage 2, and the momentum has been strong since back in the mid part of April there when it started to recover back above its 10-week moving average. So short-term uptrend remains with this one at the moment, and in terms of its group, you You can see the group is pretty strong, pushing to new highs itself since the April low, so all the way back to the highs of the year. And Meta's one of the strongest stocks in the class, so Google is above it low in terms of the mega caps at the moment. Coming back to the intraday chart here, we just have a look down onto the lower time frame, so you can see that recent earnings move there. The volume has contracted since then, so we're just looking for a pop-up through this 780 level particularly would be of interest with this one. AEO, so the Sydney Sweeney campaigns had a big effect on this recently, popping it up back towards its 200-day moving average and turning the stage 4 minus into potential early stage 1. Again, if we go back onto the site, see, we get that up. You can see the structure that's been developing over the last 4 or 5 months or so now. So little double bottom type structure in there, and then starting to push up towards the highs and just below the stage 2 level at the moment. The 30-week moving average still declining at the moment, but if it does start to push through the stage 2 level here, we'll see that start to flatten out and then start to turn back up. So it has had a big stage 2 move, moved into stage 3, and then started dipping off into stage 4, and has since been going sideways. So just drifting into early part of stage 1 here, but ideally you'd want a bigger base than this after such a big decline, as there's going to be a lot of overhead resistance. But say with back to the daily chart on this, the strength of the recent move, if it does start to push up through this sort of $13.5, $14 area here, then potentially would start to see that moving into early stage 2. If that was the case, we'd be looking for some strong moves up, potentially back up towards where the last area of resistance in the sort of 15 to 17 range through here. So back through this area here, potentially in the short term. From a swing rule from this area here, so we got down from the 13 to around 9, so $4 on top of that pushes you up to around the 17 level for the initial sort of swing target area, if that is the case. So looking for this, as I said, to start popping through the sort of 13.5 to 14 area for a potential stage 2 move. But if it starts to undercut this bar here, then that would be a negative, as obviously we've got significant volume in here. So you'd ideally want to see it hold this, ideally the mid-range of this and above. So if we see it continue to form in here, then as I said, looking for it to start to get back through that 200-day moving average.